I think his other big issue, and he kind of resolves that a little bit at the end of this episode, is his romanticizing of Sir Arlen.
Hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio of the North. We are.
Coming live coming live of north of the wall, nigga. It is
We are the
yo.
Western Bros. It is winter time, man, and we happen to be down in Ashford at the tourney
Yeah.
with, of course, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight, episode number 2. Name of the episode is Hard Salt Beef. All
Hmm.
spoilers, man. Um, Got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. Before we get started, trying to get to 10K on YouTube. I ain't even got no goals for other socials because right at this point, followership don't even matter, but it still
Yeah.
matters on YouTube. So if you
Yes.
watch things like it, subscribe. That's your first mission in
Yeah.
life is to subscribe
That's right.
to the Upon Further Review so you can see all of the Russell Bros. MCU Collect's about to be super heavy this year. We got what you call it coming out tomorrow.
I forgot. Wonder Man. That's
Wonder
right.
Man comes out tomorrow, so we'll
Tomorrow.
probably give you
Yeah.
guys a review sometime this weekend. But yeah,
Hmm.
man, get on it. Trying to get to 10K, and that's a very doable goal. I'm not asking
Yes, it
for.
is.
We're not on the road to trying to get a million right now.
Nah.
I just want
Nah.
100K. I just want the plaque. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want right now.
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah.
the plaque. All right. Anyway, this man, like, okay, I'm liking this show, yo. Like,
I am too. I love the whole tenor, the tenor tone, whatever you want to say of this show. I'm really loving this show right now, man, for real.
I wouldn't. Okay, dare I say a Game of Thrones show with heart? Like, like yo, like I never thought I would say that. Like, you may
And
have
a
some
soul.
characters, yeah, you may have some
Hmm.
characters that have heart and soul, but like an
Uh-huh.
entire show where
Hmm.
everybody is for them, like, no, minus the Targaryens, it's really just kind of like, hey, man, we just trying to have a little fun, just
Yeah.
out here in the, chilling on the other side of us on the other side of the world, and
Yeah.
we're just trying to have a good time. And like that's really what this is. And in the midst of this, you have this big, tall person that just sticks out, and as confirmed by this episode, is stupid, and has been told he's stupid his entire life. And now he has to reckon with that and
Yeah.
also deal with the fact that he don't really know who he is. So this is a very interesting kind of twist on a story a story trope that I hate. Is a coming of age story, and it really kind of is. And it's fun, and it kind of lines up with him as a character because
Hmm.
he's such a like a late bloomer,
Yes.
should have already had his coming of age story. But
Yeah.
since, he's just a little bit delayed, like now he's
Yeah.
gonna have it with the help of this little smart ass boy
Uh-huh.
who happens to be bald. And but also happens to know everything about everyone.
Hmm.
And since he's not smart, he ain't
He
catching on.
he is not catching. He is not catching on. You know who Dunk is? Dunk is a lighter-hearted version of Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds for Shad.
Oh my God.
For those of kid y'all that are of our age,
Oh
what
God.
we like to call as ex-millennials, we're Gen Xers, but we're also right there at the millennial cusp or whatever. Revenge of the Nerds was a movie that came out in the 80s, and they had a character up there named Ogre. Ogre was just a big, burly, out of control, hated nerds and stuff like that. And he was just mean and horrible until he actually realized, yo, the nerds are cool and they don't treat me. I, listen, they they don't treat me like an idiot, even though I am an idiot. You know what I'm saying? And Dunk is the inverse of that, where he's kind-hearted, he has super strong morals, and his moral fiber points in a positive direction. And he knows like, hey, You know what it is? Everybody in life has something that they are insecure about for the most part. And he already knows what he's insecure about, and that's the fact of I'm an idiot. I'm not the smartest person in the room. And it comes and the thing is, it shows very quickly I'm not the smartest person in the room. I try to say the right things, but a lot of times it comes off like, who is this giant? Who is this giant idiot sitting here? Also, he has his other, I think his other big issue, and he kind of resolves that a little bit at the end of this episode, is his romanticizing of Sir Arlen. His
Yeah.
romanticizing of Sir Arlen. And I look at that almost kind of how he romanticizes Sir Arlen, and the thought of Sir Arlen is like in The Great Gatsby, how Gatsby romanticizes that chick that he's been after all this time. I can't think of her name in the daggone book and movie. And then what happens at the end? She leaves this mother high and dry. It realizes that's not it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's this romanticizing of Sir Arlen and realizing at the end, like, yo, he wasn't that great of a knight. And I am his legacy. And my goal is to do something that he just couldn't do.
Yeah. And I think that's like well said because it's almost like when it's almost like Tyler the Creator said on POV. He said I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to basically like live with the fact that I'm gonna outlive my heroes. So he's coming to terms and coming to grips with like, hey, I love my man. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude was did everything for me the best he could. Even we see the montage earlier how like he really was like he just was okay. You know, and that's cool. Like, oh, you okay. Do you know who his okay, so his knight is essentially Eli Manning. Because you saw how at the like the battle of whatever they was having, he
Mm-hmm.
bested the Targaryen, the prince, and he knocked
Uh-huh.
him off his horse or whatever. He was like, "Yo, like I remember dude because he did get me, and
Yeah.
like, and I gotta
Uh-huh.
respect him for that." He
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, 7 times." So I said, "Nah, nah, little nigga, it was four. It was 4 times."
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I do remember him. He was like, "How you
Yeah.
remember that dude?" He said, "Yo, man, I try to keep account of all these things that happened to me."
You know who, and we're gonna get into this, who Prince Baylor is, Baylor Balon, I think his name, who he is or whatever. He is a true student of the game when it comes to jousting and knowing who he is. And when you are a student of the game, you can spout off information about stuff you do. Mike Tyson is like that. Everybody, and he was like that even when we were back then when we was horrified of Mike Tyson. Like
No, he's
people
always been a
always,
student. Yeah.
yeah, he has yes, Prince Baylor, excuse me, that's his name. But everybody, even Mike Tyson was like everyone he was horrifying. He could tell you about boxers from like the 1930s,
He'd
like
be like,
their record and stuff
Jack
like
Dempsey, so
yeah.
and so.
Floyd Mayweather is the same way. He can recall rounds that something and stuff happened. And you just like and you look at them and be like, why do you know that? And he's like, hey
Yeah,
man, you gotta know. Yeah.
there's a almost like to be honest, like autistic level ability for
Idiot
to be
savant.
that to that yeah to be that
Mm-hmm.
like like I like this one thing so much and I'm just really keyed in on this one thing. It's like my specialty.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real good point because he definitely was like, yo, man, this is just kind of what I do. And even Dunk to a certain aspect. Like Dunk is like really out here helping I'm sorry, Egg is really out here helping Dunk with everything
Mm-hmm.
because there's like a very classic I'm big and he's small that like really haven't seen like in a long time because usually like nowadays like it's very much it's not that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally said, like, yo, like I'm essentially the runt of my family. Like I'm too small. And he
Yeah.
was like, yo, like I'm just really big and dumb. And now they form this bond that
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna basically have almost this like symbiotic relationship. So,
And I love too the scene when, I think when no, when Egg is realized he's watching some of the other squires and stuff, and he's like, "Ooh!" And then he looks at Dunk and says, "Hey, do you think I can be a knight?" Dunk's like, "Yeah, man, sure, you can be a knight and everything." And he was like, "I don't know, man. I'm small." And he was like, "Man, you'll grow into it." And he was like, "I'm small for my age. Like I am, I am puny. Like this and that." And
hey,
he basically was telling him like, "Hey man, if you got the heart, the will, and stuff," he was like, "Look, man, people my whole life were telling me I'm stupid." Aegon was like,
it's like, what
little
else?
little Egg was like, and he was like, "No,
No,
I'm
that's it.
stupid.
That's it.
That's it. There's no lesson. There's no, hey, people said I was stupid, but it ain't like Sir Davos in the OG series, where
Oh,
he wasn't
Davos.
stupid, very smart man, but he couldn't read. He was like, saying, "Hey, I was a what he say? He says I was a smuggler, couldn't read, and whatever. And now I'm, what I'm saying, I'm the hand of the king, and of the king, and Shireen is giving me reading lessons behind
Oh
my back. So that
man. R.I.P.
when
Shireen, yo.
Shireen, yeah. He taught that man to say night. He was like, "Knickets." She said, "No, nights." He said, "But it's a K there. Is that it?" You remember that, Rashad? She said, "Knickets." She was like, "No, nights." He was like, "But it's a K there." It's just
Oh
like that though,
God.
or whatever. R.I.P. Shireen. Shout out to Sir Davos. But yeah. I mean, it's just like they are learning along the way. So let's hop in this episode real quick. I'm gonna talk about a few things in this episode.
Go
Like
right
you said,
ahead.
that montage in the beginning. I hope and I pray every episode starts off with something wild, like it
Yo,
has the last two episodes.
we had like Dirk Diggler at the top of the episode.
Yo,
I'm like, come on, bro.
yo,
Like, what we doing?
pause all the way around. My man Johnson hung all the way down to his knee. Yo, for real. And I
He
was
was
just
like,
like,
yeah, and the
yo.
funny part too, like it was him like monologue over. It's like doing like a narration.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does it got to do with
And
anything,
it's
yo?
like, yeah, he was a, what I'm saying? He wasn't he's strong man, but he had his thing. You was like, yo, and you see it, you like, yo, this man has his Johnson
Like
naked down.
dick out, booty out in the
You
back. I'm
know,
like, what
I
is
know
going?
he done piped down the chick who's some wench or chick that's in the thing. And I believe this is literally like days before he passes away.
Yeah, because
Because
like he
if
just
you
had his
notice,
open wound.
yeah, and you
Yeah,
later on see that wound like
he
a
didn't
couple of
even try to
scenes
get it
later.
clean. He just wrapped
I
it
think I
up.
think that's where he got sick from. That thing got festered and he got sick. And it was like, oh, he was a kind man and he gave I'm like, did he pay that man for services with his daughter, whoever that was? He gave, what I'm
Bro,
saying?
I don't know, yo.
It did, but I love the juxtaposition of this because the first episode you see Sir Arlen smacking the hell out this kid, and like you said, even as early as you saw him as Dunk as how he looked now doing it, and
Hmm.
then also like when you see Kid Dunk, can I be a knight? I was like, yeah, he ain't say nothing to him, and you see like they have those moments where they're under the hedge, and they're sharing a piece of salted beef. You know what I'm saying? Salted beef, which is the name of the thing, and they're laughing about it and stuff like that. And you just see up to the point with Sir Arlen that he's giving his monologue and he's talking to all these different house lords, like, hey man, he did this, and like he's romanticizing, like he was like, how come y'all don't know him? Like he's this is Sir Arlen, a Pennywise, Penny Tree. I said Pennywise, a Penny Tree.
Pennywise.
This is Sir Arlen, a Penny Tree. Like, y'all don't know this man. He's a great knight. He's done, and they're like, I don't know this nigga. They like, we don't know him. And at that point, that's when Egg, and like I said, Dunk not knowing and not recognizing the situation, Egg is like, yo, why are you begging these dogs, these guys that are like highborn dogs or whatever? And nobody talks about another highborn like that unless you are a Targaryen and you are above people in the hierarchy. He's like, man, you shouldn't be. And what he tell him for sure? He said, hey, he said because one of the guys was Lord Tyrell of House Tyrell.
House
He was
Tyrell in
like,
the house.
he said, hey man, sign up for this daggone thing, take that lance and ram it up his ass, yo, for real. And he's like, Dunk's like, you're a little insolent little bastard. He's just like, hey man, it don't work like that. I need to get this. And then what do they hear? The trumpets are blowing, and
House Targaryens in the house.
you see the look on Egg's face, like, and he comes up with the most BS. Hey, I ought to go back to camp to make sure people don't steal our stuff. Steal what?
After this is right after Dunk was like, yo, don't you want to leave? He was like, oh
Yeah,
nah, I'm good. And he
I'm
saw
good.
man, he saw his people roll up, was like, oh yeah, I gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here. Because it's pretty much assumed, y'all, that this is he's a Targaryen. So at this point, Dunk basically sneaks into the castle and he sees no before that even happens, he sees, the Targaryens come through, and then there's one smug bastard ass Targaryen, and that is one Aryan Brightflame. He wants to be referred as, and he is, if I'm not mistaken, the eldest or the second eldest son to Maekar Targaryen. We're going to talk about Maekar in a minute. And Aryan comes up. He is a smug bastard. He looks at Dunk. Hey, stable boy, clean my horse, do this. And he's like, begging your pardon, my lord. I'm not no. He was like, who are you? And you see the size difference when he hopped off. He was like, boy, the quality of night has really gone down because, like I said, Dunk looks like trash compared to everybody else. And so then he sees the Targaryens, the hand of the king, aka next in line to the throne, which is Baelor Targaryen, and you see and how they announce him. We have Baelor Targaryen, hand of the king, next in line to the throne. His brother
And his
Maekar,
brother.
and his brother Maekar, and you see Maekar's face like. And this is what I've gotten from this. So some of y'all are looking at Baelor and like, this nigga's a Targaryen. He don't look like a Targaryen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a little section I like to call Antonio Game of Thrones Song of Fire and Ice facts. The current king of the Iron Throne is Daeron Targaryen, known as Daeron the Good. He is the one that finally brought Dorne into the fold to make them
AKA
the
Day
Seventh
Day.
Kingdom. Because what did Daeron do? He married a Dornish woman. So that is why not Maekar, that is why Baelor has darker hair and has like a darker tint to his skin. It's genetics. However, they've had four children altogether. The other two kids you probably go see because there's stuff about them. One is like sickly and the other one is kind of crazy in the head, like any Targaryen could be. But Maekar and Baelor, because Maekar is the youngest and Baelor, they're the warriors, whatever. And Maekar, he looks like a traditional Targaryen, pale blonde hair, pale skin, and I'm sensing that Maekar loves his brother. He do, but there is some resentment
Definitely.
because Maekar is the next in line to the throne, not Maekar. Baelor is next in line to the throne, but Maekar looks more like a Targaryen than Baelor does or whatever. And
Hey,
right
this
then, y'all,
there's some colorism going on in the
right,
house.
it's some colorism going on in the household. And then too, you got to think about it like this. This is probably about, if I'm not mistaken, 100 years after House of the Dragon.
You're right.
The thing that has always held the Targaryens in powers are the dragons. the dragons are gone now. And so they're holding on to the power they have by a thin thread. Also, this is 13 years after the very first Blackfire Rebellion, which is another, if y'all don't
I was
know what
about
that
to say
is,
because we already
look it up.
know like few
Uh-huh.
years after this, it's
Yeah.
gonna be the other one, and
It's the
Baratheon is gonna
second.
be yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like a big, it's like a, so you can tell like Makar loves his brother and he cares about his brother and he's like, but he's kind of like, y'all
y'all,
treating
y'all,
me
y'all,
like,
y'all
y'all
treating
treat
me
me like a
bad,
bastard,
man.
and I'm the one that looks more like a Targaryen anything. But anyway, Dunk is sitting in watching, saying eavesdropping a little bit, and you hear certain things. Baylor is like, hey man, I'm sure they're gonna show up. Makar's like, hey man, I don't need to know where the hell my other two kids are. What I'm saying? I got Arion here. These other two, and he has a fourth son who's at the Citadel right now becoming a maester, and we will find out later on that he is none other than our very own favorite brother in Black Targaryen, Maester Aemon. So he's practicing to be a maester right now. But he wants to know where the hell my other two kids are. And they're like, hey man, you know how they do, whatever like that. And he like, oh man, whatever. And then of course Dunk, being big as he is, hiding behind
Hey, before you get to when he gets caught,
uh-huh.
when the when the young servant girl
Mm-hmm.
catches him, say, "Shh, the Targaryen was lost," and he's like, "The hell they got to do with me?" And she says, looks at him dead in the face and says, "You're big and stupid." Splashes water on him and then walks away. I said,
Yo,
"What?"
yo, that's so
It was so
disrespectful.
funny.
It's funny and disrespectful as hell. And
Hey yo, he out here like Rodney Dangerfield, man. Just
yeah, I
zero,
guess no respect.
gets no respect out here,
Rest in,
yo.
rest in peace to Rodney Dangerfield.
Another dated
Another
reference,
good.
guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nah, he's no respect at all, yo.
Yeah. So Makar sees him is like, hey, the hell you doing back there? And he comes in bumbling. I'm sorry, me lord, blah 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 blah. Then he says, this and that. He's just like blah 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 blah. Then he's like Baylor, and he talks to him and says, you know what I'm saying? Sir Arlen always spoke great of you, saying that you are going to be the blessing of the realm because it is believed that Baylor is going to be a magnificent king in this, what I'm saying, a magnificent king, and he's one of the best there is to keep the dynasty going or whatever. They say he's great. The people love him, even small folk love him and everything like that. And he's like talking, and he's like, yeah, he knighted me, blah blah blah, this and that, and everyone is like, all right, man. You see, Makar's like, man, get your ass out of here. Like, I don't care about it. Like, Makar is like, but you see, Baylor is like, hey, relax. Because Baylor he's the hand of the king to his own father. And then on top of that, he's probably done more diplomatic stuff.
Oh
He's,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
you got to think about
Definitely.
it. When you're hand of the king, sometimes you have to sit on the throne and listen to the complaints or the wishes of the
The
small
small
folks. So,
folk. Yeah,
so
you're
he's
right.
cool
You're
with it.
exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? He cool with it. And he was like, yo, I remember you, dude. And that's what we talked about earlier. He was like, yeah, he said, yeah, he beat the gray lion in the thing. Do you know who the gray lion is? And he was like, yeah, that's the daggone Lannister dude, tent that's over there. And he was like, okay, cool. You
But you
you
see
knew.
the master of games tipped him off?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like,
He was like
and he was like, oh yes, I do know. And then he was like, all right, cool. He was like, yeah, I beat him. He says he got to me. Everything was cool. He says I beat him, but it was a hell of a fight. He was like, yeah, took 4 lances and Dump's like 7. He says what? I beg your pardon, me lord. He said it was 7. He was like, they don't call me Breakspear for nothing, nigga. It was 4. And that's why they call it Breakspear because they say in the joust he's always crushing people. And like he was like, and he realized that he was like, "Oh, I was just
oh,
insolent to the
I done,
to the
I
crown
done,
prince." Yeah, he dropped down. I'm so sorry, my lord. He said, "Sir Arlen was old, and that nigga was crazy." He started, woo. And so he was like, "It's okay. People fantasize things." He was like, "Hey man, I don't see no reason why this dude can't compete. Hey yo, sign him up for the games." And then what does Dunk do? He does the most Dunk thing. He turns he turns to the right, which is the way he snuck in. He's like, nah, I should go this way. And then goes back the other way. You see, they looking at him like, but also the other funny part was when Makar he looked at Makar, tried to get in his good graces, was like, I'm pretty this is I'm positive, my lord, that your your children will be found alive. He said your
He
children will be
said,
found
he
not dead.
said, nigga, what?
He said they will be found not dead. He was like, get the hell out of here. You're for real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The game master was like, get out of here.
Get
Get
out of
out of
here,
here.
man.
And also how like he got turned around and said, hold on, yo. He said that sigil ain't that ain't yours. Like you wasn't related
Mm-hmm.
to him, so
Mm-hmm.
you gotta get a new sigil. And that leads us
Yeah.
to him going to talk to well,
Tynell the tall.
yeah,
Tynell.
sound all
Yeah,
too
too tall.
tall. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
too tall. Yeah.
Too tall.
Mm.
So him and Egg was at the little, the recreation.
Uh,
And this scene to me is just so indicative of the show because the way that Dunk and Egg, like the actors, are playing
uh-huh.
off each other,
Yes.
it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cause Egg is like was really fascinated by the whole production, and he's asking
Um,
about like, hey, where'd you get the stuff from? How'd you do this? How'd you do that?
and she said,
He's
"Oh,
real
polish."
inquisitive,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and Tall is just like,
I want them chocolate
good
cheeks.
God,
I,
yo,
I
she
want
a
her. Yeah.
baddie.
I want her chocolate cheeks. She is
Yes,
bad as hell.
Lord. He was like the fun. He was like, oh man. She was like, my name's Tonnell. But my people call me Too Tall. He was like, you ain't too tall
They
for.
yeah, and
And
then
she
you see
said, for who?
who, right? But also, did you notice that Egg was being a wingman though? He was
That's
being
what
a
I was
killer
saying.
wingman. He was like, yeah, he was like,
He
it's
said,
all
no, no, no.
good.
Too tall to be a puppet. You know what
A
I'm saying? He was like,
puppet, yeah,
yep. And she was
yep,
like, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there was like, so how did you make? He says, oh yeah, design these and paint them and stuff. And then that's when it was like, hey, can you do me a favor? Could you paint a sigil for me? And once again, Dunk shows you just how slow he is. And she was like, cool.
What you want?
What you want?
I don't know.
I don't know. And she was like, I got a no son here, whatever. And so he was like, a field of yellow, like a sunset. Sir Arlen loved the sunset. But also, here goes little Egg being the wingman. Yeah, an elm tree, like the one on the outskirts of town by the river. Go check out my man. Over river. And then she was like, okay. And then he was like, oh yeah, and a shooting star, which is great because he's a hedge knight. He's always sleeping under a tree. And then what happened on the first
The
episode?
good
You see the
fortune or the shooting
you see
star. Yeah.
shooting star stuff, and she was like, all right, fine. And he, once again, he's such a love. Okay, he walks away with the shield. She says, yeah, you're gonna need this, so whatever. And you see that happen, and then the next thing you know, they're talking. Egg and Dunk are talking. Dunk is letting Egg drink ale, cider, or whatever, and they're watching a tug of war back. And,
Oh, hold on,
and
yo. Like, no, no. Like this kid that's playing Egg is so good. Like they're
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
down, he's drinking it, right? He's like, he said, there's a bug in my drink.
He says a bug in my drink. But then,
It was so it was so funny, man.
but I go back to how disgusting they are during the Middle Ages because you saw in the first episode the innkeeper. She just took a cup that had a little bit of cider or whatever in it. She just chugged that thing down. And then it was like, ugh. I said, ugh. And then, get the bug in it or whatnot. But then you see where, they're talking, and that's when, they had a conversation about being a knight or whatever. And then who do we see? I think one of me and Rashawn's favorite character. Oh, Laughing Storm himself, my nigga. Hello, Lionel.
Lionel.
Lionel Ferretti. It comes
It's
up. It
me
was
you're
like
looking for.
he said, "Hey, Hedge Knight." He says, "Come to war with me." And he was like, "What?" And he
What?
needed him to be an anchor for a tug of war
Tug
match.
of war, man.
Even Ed got up in there. The funniest part was these guys were losing. Lionel steps off the rope and he's like, "Hey, yo!" Just to take a swig.
He said,
A
I'm
swig.
thirsty.
I'm
I'm
thirsty.
thirsty, guys. I need
And,
something to drink.
and poor Egg is he done jumped up and wrapped his legs around the rope trying to get his
Dog,
ass.
yo, so what's your so Dunk is like actually doing it by himself, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Lionel gets his drink, smacks him on the butt
Talking some
like they playing
nice.
football or something, and then they proceed to win. It's just like so funny, man.
It, is it me or does it seem like Lionel has a little homoerotica for
That's what I'm about to say.
Oh yeah,
I meant to say that
yeah.
last episode.
Even last
I meant to
episode, and
say that last episode, man. I
it's like a
forgot
little
because they was dancing.
flirtation.
He was looking all like longingly
Yeah,
in his eyes and was like being
yeah.
aggressive with him. I was like,
And there's nothing wrong with that at all, people. But I
I
just think
noticed
it
it too,
was
but
funny.
I just
Yeah,
forgot, and I was like, I meant to say that, yo.
yeah. And then he like
I'm
it
mad.
went for, he said nice and smacked him on the ass. I was like, was he looking at that man ass before he said nice or to it or whatever like that? So
Probably.
we get on later on that night and they're talking. And Egg is like, so what do you, he says, what do you want for it? He was like, man, I'm just want to make enough coin to where I can be, what I'm saying, a knight for a great house. I just want to put a great showing on. Hell, maybe even I could be a knight for the Targaryens.
He was like,
Egg
how?
snap. He said, you think the Dragon Lords have ever had a hedge knight? Nigga, get real. like that. That's coming from personal experience. And in the process of this too, Dunk realizes I need some armor. So he goes to a little armor. And the armor, and I love this armor because he is so no nonsense. Hey, look here. I make the best armor here. I'm not here to put all this fancy, cute gold and silver traces and stuff. The armor's gonna work. And he was like, hey man, how much? He was like, 800 stag. And he was like, oh, I can't. And then he just put it down and started sulking, walking away. He was like, all right, man, I'll do it for 6. He was like, dude, all I got is 2. And he looked at him and said, but I could trade you some armor that's for a smaller man that's not that good. And he was just like, all right, I'll do that and then get the rest of it. And, he was like, thank you, man. And then he had to do something that he didn't want to do. He had to sell one of his horses, old Sugarfoot. And Sugarfoot was the horse of Sir Arlen. And he was just like, hey, man, when I get the money, I'm gonna come back for you, bro. I gotta do this. And he does it. He sells it and makes some money for it or whatever. The next thing you know, the game starts, Rashad.
Yo, like, okay. So
Fire! That's all I want to say.
I just want to say, like,
Uh-huh.
this show is doing a really good job of like of like ebbs and flows
Mm-hmm.
because it's like funny scene, a little bit of tension, funny scene, like
Dialogue.
exposition,
Uh-huh.
funny scene, a little more exposition, and then we get, what I'm saying, kind of like a sad, kind of somber scene going
Mm-hmm.
into a more action set piece, a small action set piece for for this show.
Yeah.
And that was so, like we seen jousting a little bit in House of the Dragon and maybe
Yeah.
like a little bit in like Game
And
of
Game of
Thrones, but like just
this right
full
here.
fledged, like this is the show. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, how am I gonna like? I'm not gonna want to see a bunch of jousting.
Yeah.
I am sorry because I
Yeah.
did not know we was gonna be doing a
A, a
cage
joust
match.
a joust
Um,
battle royal. That's
yeah,
what it
yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah, for real. For joust, I'm like, yo, it's four horses on both sides, and they're
Uh-huh.
just going round robin against each other
Uh-huh.
until
But
somebody just falls and just doesn't get back up. I said, oh,
Rashad,
this is
this was
crazy.
probably, in my opinion, I may be wrong, the best joust scenes I've seen since.
Say it.
A Knight's
Say it.
Tale. A Knight's Tale. You know what I'm talking about,
No,
right?
he was
A,
going there.
a
Hey,
Knight's
if
Tale.
y'all never
Rest
seen A
in
Knight's
peace.
Tale, Heath
Uh-huh.
Ledger, rest in peace. One
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
greatest movies. Yo, A
Yeah.
Knight's Tale
It's a awesome.
is so
Awesome.
good, yo.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my God, that's a good movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Richard Gere in that too? Was that Richard Gere in that?
Yeah. No, Richard Gere wasn't in it. My man that plays Vision was in it. Beatty.
Paul Bethany.
Yeah,
Bettany.
Bettany was in it. My man that played Robert Baratheon was in it
Oh,
as
for real?
well. Was in it
Dang.
as well. That was like his best. That was like his best friend in the heavyset dude. That was like his best friend in it. And I mean it was such a good movie. But this is some of the best jousting scenes I've seen since A Knight's Tale. And what I love about it is I think this is like little Egg's first time seeing it. And
Yo, my
it looks
man
like
was
a
so hyped.
yeah, it looks almost
So hyped.
it was given like going to a football game.
Yo, it was
Yeah,
like I
NFL.
was
They're like,
yo,
yeah.
yes, yes. Like
You
it
even
really
had people in the crowd. There go taunting Ashford. You know, so the guy that was running the thing, he sleeps with his shape. Whatever.
I
Like
was
it
like,
was
yo, niggas was
yeah.
laughing. Like it's such it's this is such a good just like it's a good show, man.
Yeah. But can you tell if you want to know what I did notice doing this though in that
What's
one
that?
scene? That was the scene where two things happened. Egg was so hyped into it. Yeah, yeah. And then he stopped and looked when he started seeing the action happen. And when the squires were hand, he was like, he had a look at his face like, how the hell am I gonna do this with my little tail? But you know what he started doing? He says, put me down. And he wanted to get down and he started studying and looking
Yeah.
to see
Yeah, you're
how
right.
to
You're
properly
right.
maneuver. In the meantime, so you had that going on, but also in the same scene, in the meantime, you saw Dunk looking and realizing, yo, Sir Arlen won't that good. How the hell am I going to win this? Look at these. What remember the one night that got knocked off the horse? He got knocked off. His teammate got knocked off, but his teammate couldn't move, but he could. But he was able to jump on the teammate's horse and grab the lance. And he's sitting there looking like, how am I supposed to? And I think that was a realization of him, like, this is going to be very hard and whatever. And then we get back to the campsite, and what do you see? Egg is just so hype, and he's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, my God, you just see that?" He
You know,
hype about it.
you know who Egg remind me of?
What's that?
Egg remind me of when we was kids and after we finished seeing like a martial arts movie.
Yeah, and we out there like, say, what,
We
stop,
was kicking
say,
stuff like, bro, like
you know, sit there,
sit your
you know
goofy
what I'm
ass
saying?
down, yo.
You know what I'm saying? So you killed my father. Very nice. You know, that's how Egg was looking like he was sitting there, and then you just got Dunk sitting there like, yo, and just reflecting. And then
Yeah.
he finally says it like, hey, he wasn't the biggest, he wasn't strong, he never won a tournament in 60 years. I am his legacy. I'm going to win for him. I'm going to win for him, and I'm gonna try my damnedest to do it. And what does he does that he do at the end? One of his last good memories of Sir Arlen. He takes a bite of that salted beef into the episode. This show is so good, man.
So good, man. Like
So good.
I really didn't know what to expect when I
Mm-hmm.
they would say we're gonna do this. I'm like, it's GOT, so I'm game regardless.
Right.
But a heartwarming, feel good,
Mm-hmm.
coming of age story that
Mm-hmm.
also has this almost like inverted a sub inverted like lone wolf and cub storyline. It's I just they're
Yeah.
doing a lot of things that should not
Mm-hmm.
work together.
Right.
And but they're actually making it work really well. Like if because remember last
Mm-hmm.
episode I kind of had like four different tropes of what the show could be. All those things
Mm-hmm.
should not coincide and kind of work in concert, but they really are. And I'm not just hyping this up, man. Like I
Yeah,
really like even like reviewing this and talking about it more. I'm like, man, like it really. And the
it's a
episode was
good
only
show.
34 minutes.
Yeah, like all these episodes are going to be like anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes.
Like these ain't long. The first episode was 42 minutes. So like it's
Yeah.
not like some sort of, we're not getting an hour or 55 minutes
Mm-mm.
of like, epic
Yeah.
sprawling adventures across the the
Yeah.
narrow sea and at the
Yeah.
wall. It's just
And the
Ashford.
best thing, you don't have to jump to, oh, we're going to be in the Riverlands, we're going to be in Dorne, we're going to be in King's Landing. It is just focusing on the adventures of these two, of the adventures of Dunk and Egg, these two folk here, and what they want out of life. And I can't wait for the next episode. I don't even know what it's going to be or whatever. And I'm just really excited to see where we're going. Got what? 4 episodes left for this. It's only a six
Yeah,
episode season.
man. Yeah,
Six
yeah,
episode season,
yeah.
man. So this is some good stuff right here so far.
Pretty much, man.
Hmm.
That's kind of where I land on this too. It's just everything is going, it's clicking really well for this to be like a contained story.
Hmm.
And again, being in this world that we know to be so wretched and violent and
Hmm.
cutthroat, that there is a small subsection that can actually be sort of kind and
Hmm.
somewhat benevolent, because
Hmm.
everybody is wanting to help Dunk for some reason. And it's not like because they love people that aren't smart. It's just that he just is so like endearing,
Yeah.
and that sort of like engenders like, all right, man, let's
He's like your knight. One thing we didn't talk about too, just quick before we get out of here, was after he had his encounter with the jerk Targaryen, Aryan Bright Flame, he saw two members of the King's Guard, and you saw how excited he was.
bro.
I
Their
mean, first of
armor
all,
was so
armor was
dope, yo.
fire, fire, and he was just like, "Yo, this and that," and my man was like, "Yo, I'm Sir blah blah blah, drunk of Dirk Hill, I'm Sir this and that," and he was like, "Yo, you want a Dirk?" He says, "Nah, my family were crabbers," and he's just like, "Yo." So even he's like, "You got to let me know, how can a son of a crabber make it to be a members of the King's Guard?" And he was just like anybody else. And Dunk took that, like I said, being a
Yeah,
lug,
because
like,
no, no, no,
oh
no, no.
man,
He said the same way we became crabbers.
yeah, the same we
But
became
now
crabbing.
now if you think about it, you know how they
Uh,
became crabbers, right?
right, yeah. So it's funny because he was like, oh snap. So I could be because Dunk is originally from King's Landing, the flea bottom. I could be a flea bottom kid that's a knight to become a member of the King's Guard. Cool. And then he was talking later on to Egg, and Egg was like, what? Man, you know how he became? His family are the largest crabbing business in Westeros. Oh. So it's kind of like, yo, he was going to get it because of the money they bringing in from crabbing. Man, get out of here. And that's why I love the combination, and I love the interaction, because you know me, Rashad, I'm big on dialogue between those two, because it's
It's so good, man. Like they
yeah,
just, and like the chemistry of these two is
mhm,
just,
right.
it's really working.
It's like
Like,
Dunk wishes he had Egg's mind, and Egg wishes he had Dunk's physique and
and that's what
physicality,
I'm
man.
saying. It's like that
Yeah.
classic big
Mm-hmm.
and small story that like
Mm-hmm.
we don't get in like current media because it's like a
Yeah.
played out trope. But like back in like the before like the 2000s, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get a I'm big and dumb and I'm small and smart. Like that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
classic
Right. Clockwork.
storyteller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh-huh.
yo, like it's
Shoot.
this
What's what's
episode
what's the movie Twins with Arnold
ex-
Schwarzenegger?
exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Shoot.
Exactly. Oh, the story big,
Uh,
literally.
yeah.
So there's always like a lot of that going on. Well, was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that going on. But yeah, enough of the old stuff. We'll be back probably sometime this
It's
weekend. Seeing how it's gonna snow again, we'll have plenty of time to be inside.
right.
Um, yeah, going over Wonder Man or on the MCU Collector. Check us out over there.
Hmm.
Also, next Monday, episode 3 of this Night of the Seven Kingdoms,
Hmm.
a Hedge Knight. Cannot wait to see Dunk unleash his fury at the tourney. Subscribe,
Like and share.
10K, YouTube, looking at the camera. Stop playing games with us.
Hmm.
Y'all love it. If
Yeah.
you want, if you for some reason subscribe came through like watching the shorts, subscribe. Because a lot of y'all niggas don't subscribe. Y'all just watch the shorts. Subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So we can get to
Hmm.
10K and we can do bigger and better things with other people. Yeah, man. That's all I got for this one, man. We appreciate y'all. Till next time.